my channel. My name is Reneilwe Pholoba for those of you who don't know me. If you're new here, welcome love. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Keep on watching. And if you're returning, thank you so much. Appreciate the love and support. This just shows me that you appreciate the content that I produce, and yeah, it just makes it even more meaningful when I do it. Anyway, so as you can tell by the title of this video, actually at this point I'm not even sure what I'm going to title this video, because I don't want to call it relationship goals, because it may not be everyone's relationship goal, but it is my relationship goal. So my relationship goal, my journey with my husband before we were married, that's basically what we're going to be talking about. Hope you enjoy the video, loves. If you do, share, like, subscribe. And yeah, stay tuned so that you can get more of my content. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell so that you're always the first to know when I upload a new video. Alright loves, let's get right into the video. Okay, so guys, today I just felt that it's necessary, well, not really necessary, but I felt that I should share the journey my husband and I have had, especially when we're dating. I'll do a separate video of our journey when we were married, and honestly, I didn't want to have him here while I talk about this, or while we engage in this discussion, because, I mean, it's a two-way stream. So, obviously, because we have baby and other commitments, he couldn't be here with me today. We do share responsibilities, so when I am recording, he is usually looking after baby. So until we figure out a situation that will allow us to record together, I'm going to be telling you my side of the story, I guess, if I should put it that way, because he won't be here to tell you his side of the story. Anyway, guys, so my husband and I started dating in varsity. We started dating in varsity, but we knew each other from primary school. Yes, it was primary school. Can't even remember which grade, honestly. Yeah, I can't remember which grade. We attended class together at some point, and then I just knew him as that athlete. Then we went to high school, but we didn't go to the same high school. We went to different high schools. So I went to Princess High, and he went to another high school. Poach Boys, which is far, obviously. And then, yeah, so we didn't speak during that time, and we didn't speak much in primary school as well. To be honest, I was probably focused on other things and other people's. So, anyway, fast forward to varsity. We meet in varsity, and a friend of mine, I remember this day, a friend of mine said to me, "Chummy, do you remember him? We went to primary school with him." And I'm like, of course I remember him. How can I not remember him? Of course I remember him. Then she's like, oh, actually, come to think of it, you guys would look cute together. And I was like, no, we would not. He is not my type. He is too short. You know, because I'm short, I need somebody who's tall. Guys, remember those days when you used to write down, he must be tall. I remember my list. He must be able to sing. Like, it was on my list, guys, of things that I wanted in a husband or a boyfriend at that time. So yeah, so honestly, I was like, no, he's short. And then I think it was a couple of weeks later, he got my number from that friend of mine and contacted me. And yeah, I don't know, I just realized that, you know, having a list of things that you want, I'm not saying you shouldn't have one, but having a list of especially physical appearances or things that are not important, of things that you want in a person or in a partner, can prevent you from actually getting the correct partner for you. So I'm glad that when I realized that actually this person has all the qualities that I want, you know, except the fact that he's not tall, he is short, but he's taller than me, so that was fine. So yeah, so what I'm trying to say, guys, is that take the time, if you're in your singleness and you want to get married, or you are not even ready for marriage but you want to date for purposes of getting married, take the time to determine which qualities that you would like to have in a husband or a wife. You know, it's not just the physical appearance, because honestly, the physical appearance is not going to raise your kids. The physical appearance is not going to sit with you and come up with a plan of how you envision your life to be in terms of raising the family, or what's this, or basically building your empire. So I'm glad that I didn't let the physical, not even physical appearance, more like the fact that he's not as tall as I'd like him, because I was like, yo, then our children are gonna be short. I didn't let that stand in the way of wanting to get to know him as a person and to see the qualities that he has. And honestly, never regretted it. Wow. I am blessed. I was telling my other friend this weekend how much I was in tears. I think I was PMSing also, but I was just in tears because I was just feeling so grateful and blessed to have a husband like him. Ooh, these boobs are not behaving. That's why I went to go get a neck piece too. A dramatic neck piece to sort of hide, okay, these things. Anyway, so yeah, so how we navigated our relationship, guys, it was okay, I've already given you the context in terms of where we come from. Maybe let me just take it a step further. So we dated for 7 years before we got married. 2020 is our 5th year of being married. So yeah, so how many years is that? 7 plus 5, 12, guys. Wow. Anyway, so it's been 12 years we've been together, but we dated for 7 years. Now 7 years is very long to date. It is very long to date. For us, it felt long, and I'll tell you why it felt long. It felt long because we decided that we're not going to have sex before we get married. It was a decision from the get-go before we even decided to date. And I just felt the need to, share this experience in the hopes that maybe it will help somebody. Maybe it will, I don't know, it will give you some perspective. I just felt, okay, you know what, let me just talk about this. Because a lot of people that know this about me and my husband would always say, ooh, but how did you guys do it? And I'm going to speak from my side. Maybe you'll get a chance to hear his side of the story, or how he navigated our relationship from his side of the story. But a lot of people would ask me, how do you trust him? How do you trust that he's not getting it from somebody else since you're not giving it to him? How do you trust? And I would choose not to answer, especially if I suspect that specific person is asking, not with trying to find out how we're surviving 7 years, or how we've survived 7 years without having sexual intercourse, or without having sex, basically. Then I wouldn't answer them, because then the intention wasn't correct. They were trying to plant doubt in my mind. And I could tell, because some people would ask with that thing, he's not getting it somewhere else because you're not giving it to him. But then there would be people who would be genuine, like, I really want to know, because maybe this is something that I want to implement in my life. And then I would explain to those people how we did it. So guys, firstly, before I even get into the whole sexual part of a relationship, firstly, when you are with somebody, or you've decided that, okay, this person is the person that I want to be with, the most important thing for you to check is whether your values are aligned. I think that was very important for hubby and I. Our values were aligned. So when I mean values, he's a Christian, I'm a Christian, and it wasn't just the fact that he's Christian, right? Because I've met a lot of guys. Ooh, maybe when I decide to do a story time, maybe. If I decide to do a story time, I will, tell you about some things that I've met in life. But so, the values need to be aligned, because somebody may say they're Christian, but they don't actually have a relationship with God. And I think that was very important for me, because I understood that if this person has a relationship with God, they would also be able to have my best interest at heart, basically. So his values are very important. It needs to be aligned. And I say this specifically for ladies, because honestly, if Mugai and Mugel, you don't have the same values, somebody is going to compromise. And most likely, it's going to be the lady, unfortunately. And the reason why it's going to be the lady is because we are designed in a specific way. God wired us in such a way that we need love, right? We need love. And that's why in the Bible, when it talks about husbands, love your wives, It's because we need it. That's how God made us. And so when you feel like you might lose this person that you love because you're not giving it up to him, you're most likely to compromise on that. And that's why I say it's very important to make sure that your values are aligned, right? Because when your values are aligned, then it's not easier. Don't get me wrong, it's not easier, but it's a much better conversation. So yeah, so hubby and I's values were aligned. We decided that, you know what, we're not gonna have sex before we get married. We're gonna have sex when we're married. Now 7 years, guys. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of dating. It was tough. It was tough, and I felt the need to share this. I'm hoping it will, because every time I speak about it, and I never get a chance to go in depth with it, because then people also just assume that clearly you guys didn't get horny, or I don't know how you guys are doing it, but clearly you guys are superhuman. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with the fact that we had a goal. It was our relationship goal to only have sex when we're married. But that goal wasn't just the goal, G. It was also based on our values. So we had principles that were pushing us to actually want to achieve this goal. Right. Guys, we were probably the horniest people in varsity compared to everybody who was actually having sex. We were probably the horniest people because we weren't having any, and it's not like we weren't attracted to each other. But the beauty of it is because we agreed together that we are going to wait until marriage. And it wasn't one partner agreeing because the other partner wants to hear it. No, we made a decision together that, you know what, we are going to wait until marriage, and we are going to see that we get to a point of marriage before we before we actually have a sexual relationship. Yeah, it was tough, guys. And I won't say there weren't situations where we didn't get horny, we didn't get tempted, we didn't find ourselves very close to having sex. There were multiple times. And every time something like that happened, the beauty of it is because we prayed about our relationship and because we have the same values, because you can't pray with somebody if you're not believing in the same thing, you know what I mean? So because we had the same values and we prayed about our relationship, it's like when one was weak, the other one was strong. It's like there would be days where I'll pounce on him, like, you know what, my body is ready. I am ready. I don't want to wait anymore. I've changed my mind. Let's do this now. And he would say, no, love. No, babes. No. We have a goal. We have an agreement. We said we're gonna do this only when we're married. Now, if it was some other guy, he would have taken advantage of me in my weakness state. Because that person probably wouldn't be fully where I was in terms of a spirituality, rather. So I'm so glad that my husband, he had a goal in mind, and he knew that, okay, this goal, this is what we're gonna do. So even when I was weak, he was able to say, no, but we're not doing this because we've decided, Whereas another person would be on time, yo, let's go, let's be ready, but he didn't, because he knew that I was saying it at that point because it was a moment of weakness. Same, other days he would be the one who would pounce on me, and I would be the one to say, babe, do you remember our agreement? And yeah, that's how it worked the whole 7 years. It was tough, guys. It was really tough, but it was absolutely worth it. And I just want to touch on why I say it was absolutely worth it. It was worth it because it taught us self-control individually, I'm not saying together as a couple, no, individually it taught us self-control. And not only self-control in terms of a sexual way, but self-control in terms of anything that you do. When you commit to something, you stick to it. That's what it taught us. I know it's crazy. So it taught us emotional self-control, physical self-control, it is amazing. And that's why when I hear somebody say to me, oh, but how do you trust your husband? Or how do you, what's the word? Because there was a time in our relationship where he was staying in Cape Town for 18 months. That was a tough time, guys. I will talk about that at some point. But yeah, there was, and somebody would say, but how do you even trust that he is still here with you, And I think the beauty of it is because our values are the same, we were able to still be at that point and say, you know what, I want to be with this person. And it's, yes, it's difficult now, but I'm going to hold on, until such a time where I can't be with him. So, yes, what was the other point that I wanted to make? Yeah, guys, like there's a lot I can talk about, but what I know is that it really helped us. It helped me as well because, for instance, I'm just gonna touch a little bit on marriage after baby, just a little bit for the purposes of making this point. So after you give birth, right, there's a period of time where you can't engage in sexual activity. Well, you can if you want to, but then you would be in pain. So I had my baby via C-section, so obviously I needed to heal. Couldn't just jump back into the normal things as husband and wife. And during that period, I had peace of mind. You know why? Because I thought to myself, if this guy could wait for me 7 years, guys, what is 6 weeks? What is 6 weeks? It is nothing. It is nothing. It is nothing. And also the other thing that I learned as well is because as we like continue to date, I saw that he actually has a relationship with God. And so if he actually has a relationship with God and he's made that goal to say, I will not sleep with Reneilwe until she is my wife, he is more accountable to God than he is to me. And in all honesty, guys, that is very powerful, because then I know that, it's not even about me. It's about the Creator, and I'm just reaping the benefits. Because if he didn't respect God the way that he does, he probably wouldn't be the man that he is. So yeah, that's from my perspective, just a little bit in terms of our dating life. It was tough. I'd like to encourage you, if you want to get married, if you're in your period of singleness, whether you're young, whether you're old, but you still want to get married, I just want to encourage you that decide what you want, make that decision, and stick to it. The right person will be there with you all the way, 100% of the way. Not half-heartedly, not only when you're strong, but when you're weak, then they're not there with you. And I'm not only talking about a sexual relationship. I mean in any goal that you want to achieve. The right person that is for you will be there. So guys, that's what I wanted to share about. I wanted to share about just the portion of our relationship while we were dating. I will probably do another video where he was in Cape Town for 18 months, and then I was in Joburg still studying, and yeah, how difficult that was. And then I'll probably at some point, then hopefully he can join me, do another video of how marriage life has been, and yeah, so that you guys can also assess whether it is worth waiting or not. For me, honestly, it is worth waiting for the right person. It is absolutely worth it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and like and subscribe to my channel. Please also include comments below so that we can engage in conversation. Thank you so much for joining me once more in Conversations with Renee. If you enjoy this type of content, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, goodbye, darlings.